Hey folks, CA Rachana Ranade here and I welcome you all to the first IPO summary video of 2026. The name of the company is BCCL, that is Bharat Coking Coal Limited. This is a wholly owned subsidiary of Coal India Limited, which is India's largest coal producer. Now BCCL was granted the Mini Ratna status back in 2014. So first things first, we need to understand what does BCCL do. BCCL mines and supplies coking coal. Now you might be like, coal, we understand. What is coking coal? Coking coal is basically one of the critical raw materials for steel making. Okay, this part is clear. But you might be like, Rachna, is its product only coking coal, or are there any more products that this company mines and supplies? So its primary product is coking coal, but along with it they also supply non coking coal and washed coal. Okay, so three primary products: coking coal, non coking coal, and washed coal. Who is going to consume that? It is going to be steel manufacturers and power producers. Now, with this as basic understanding, we also need to understand which product contributes how much revenue for them. So, coking coal, if you see for fiscal 25, it contributed 75% of the revenue. So, I hope this is very clear in your mind now that coking coal is their primary products contributing to 75% of the revenue. And where is it going to be used? It's a critical raw material for what? Steel manufacturing. Baki, as I said, non-coking coal barely 2%, washed coking coal around 14%, washed power coal around 7%. This is clear, agreed. But then, as I said, where will their products be used? In steel and power, right? But if you check the percentage, power industry offtakes 77.61% and steel industry barely 2.2%. So, though I'm saying that it's a critical raw material for steel industry, power industry is the one which is offtaking, which is per utilizing 77% of their overall production. Why is this so? That you're going to understand in the next section of the video. But before we move to the next section, we also need to understand that BCCL has one of the largest coking coal reserves in India, with estimated reserves of 7,910 million tons as at 1st April 2024. So agreed, we have understood that they have huge coking coal reserves, but where are their mines located? Mines are geographically concentrated in two of India's most important coal belts. One is Jharia coalfield in Jharkhand and other is Raniganj coalfield in West Bengal. How many total mines they have? They have total 34 mines, out of which 26 are open cast mines, 4 are underground mines, and 4 are mixed mines. This small last point was important because open cast mines, these are very important because they contribute to over 97% of total coal production. So basic points are absolutely clear. Company is primarily into coking coal mining and supply. Major usages of that are in steel and in power industry. But then what about the industry analysis? That's what we'll cover in the next section of the video. Now, in fiscal 25, the coking coal demand is 67 million metric ton and it is expected to reach 138 million metric ton by fiscal 2035. Now, let's understand the fun part, okay? Is the demand expected to rise exponentially? Answer is yes. Okay, what about the supply? Actually, coking coal supply is at a surplus in most of the years. But then you will be like, then where is the problem? Problem is that this coking coal, which is primarily used in what? Steel and power. Problem is that whatever coal we have in India, that is unfortunately of inferior quality. Now you'll be like, what do you mean by inferior quality? Of course, I did a lot of chat GPT to understand what do we mean by this, because the moment it said that India's coking coal is inferior, I was like, asa kasa kai? But then I understood that most Indian coal has high ash percentage, which is typically 18 to 35%. Now what happens with this is that because ash percentage is pretty high, it produces low strength coke if it is used alone. So if I were to use this coking coal which has high ash, if this is directly used, which if it is solely used in steel manufacturing, then the strength that steel requires, that will be on a lower side. So can that be used directly? Answer is no. Then what is the solution? How do steel plants actually overcome this problem? What they do is they import high quality coking coal from countries like Australia, US or Canada. Basically their coal will have very low ash content, and that is where the strength that steel will get will be higher from the imported coal. But that is not used as a standalone because it is expensive. Then what will be done is it will be blended with washed Indian coking coal. I also tried to understand a typical blend. This is how it goes: 60 to 70% imported prime coking coal and roughly 30 to 40% Indian washed coking coal. And who is actually mining and supplying this? It is Bharat Coking Coal Limited, the company that we are studying right now, correct? So now that you have understood that though this coal cannot be solely used in steel making, one point to look at it is that if we don't use our washed coking coal, then India would be like 100% import dependent to manufacture steel. Okay, so can I say, in spite of having inferior quality, this company, Bharat Coking Coal Limited, still will be treated as a strategically critical company because they do supply washed coking coal while manufacturing steel. Now let's understand about the KPIs, financials, risks, and litigations, right? We'll check them one by one. If I'm talking about KPIs, basically EBITDA margin has improved from 6.85% to 16.36%. If I'm talking about PAT margin, that has improved from 5.11% to 8.61%. And if I'm talking about ROCE, it has improved from 16.56% to 30.13%. If I'm talking about the financials, just three major parameters we should look at. Revenue CAGR is 5.2%, EBITDA CAGR is 62.6%, whereas PAT CAGR is 36.6%. I am not saying that you should not look at other financials, but these three key parameters of CAGR in revenue, EBITDA, and PAT give us some good idea about the financials, right? Higher the CAGR, better it is going to be for the company. Now, if I'm talking about key risks, first key risk that I would want to highlight, all risk, everything by the way is taken from RHP here. Uh, they have mentioned that their mines and washeries are concentrated in Jharkhand and in West Bengal. So, if there is any problem in these areas, it could be it could be a risk for the company. Number two, sometime eventually these coal reserves will exhaust. Will that also impact the company revenue? Obviously yes. Or if they are not able to successfully exploit these existing reserves because of any other reason, still will that adversely impact the business? Answer is yes. Second risk that we would want to we should discuss here is the overall production of raw coking coal, and how much does that account for its revenue. That is a pretty significantly high number. If you remember, I discussed this some time back. Coking coal contributes to 75.72% of the total revenue of the company. And if there is a decline in demand for raw coking coal, will that impact the revenue of the company? Answer is yes. Okay. Now, talking about contingent liabilities, the list is a pretty big list. And if you were to compare that with that total number, see, grand total is 985 millions. So that is 3,598 crores. That, if I were to compare with PBT, it's 2x of PBT and 3x of PAT. So I totally understand that not all contingent liabilities will become a liability on the same date or in the same year. But just to give you how big it is, we should also compare it with PBT or PAT. Okay. And ultimately, one final risk that I would want to highlight is revenue from top 10 customers, that accounts for 88.88% of the total revenue. So these were the top few risks regarding the company. Talking about litigations, again, a lot of litigations. One thing that bothers me is criminal proceedings, and that too against the company. The total number is 25, and the amount involved in all is 31,999, so almost 32,000 million rupees. So that's the amount for criminal proceedings against the company. Now, if I were to take a total of this pending litigations, and if I were to compare that with the total income of the company, that accounts for almost 22.2%. Okay. Ultimately, talking about, acha, no, okay. ठीक है, चलो. In the next section, we'll talk about the peers and then we'll understand about the IPO details. All right, let's talk about the peer comparison and IPO details. There is no listed peer if I'm talking about India. If I'm talking about abroad, there are two listed peers. One is Alpha Metallurgical Resources Limited and the second one is Warrior Met Coal Limited. Okay. So now what we would want to do is we would also want to understand about the price to earning ratio and price to sales ratio. For this company, BCCL, PE is at around 43 and price to sales is at 0.77. Now, first, if I were to compare it with its holding company, Coal India's P is around 8 and price to sale for Coal India is around 1.9. If I were to compare it with its listed peers internationally, for Alpha Metallurgical Resources Limited, P is around 15 and price to sales is around 0.92, and for Warrior Met Coal it is P is around 19 and price to sales is around 3.25. So what do we get out of this? Price to sales, if I were to consider for BCCL, it is the lowest if I were to compare it with its own holding company and with its internationally listed peers. But if I'm talking about PE, this is at the highest point, which is 43. Now, I may say 43 is definitely on a higher side if I were to compare it with its peers, but what else should you check is the PEG, because in that case I would compare PE with also the growth, and if I were to calculate the PEG, that is coming to 1.19. Okay, as a thumb rule, we always say that anything lower than 1 is good, but this is just clocking a shade higher at 1.19. Now let's come to objects of the issue. It's 100% OFS, so nothing, not even 1 rupee goes to the company. So that's a, you know, the disco point. And if I were to understand about the IPO details, IPO date starts on January 9th and ends on, so IPO, when you, if you were to apply, it starts on 9th of January and closes on 13th of January. Price band, that is something which catches the attention of a lot of retail investors. 21 to 23 rupees per share. Automatically people feel swastat milte hai, nahi, it's cheap enough, right? So that is where a lot of retail individual investors get attracted. Fresh issue, as I said, it's 100%, it's offer for sale. Minimum and maximum application, it's normal, like any other IPO, right? So I hope you have understood a lot about this company. If you did like the video, please don't forget to smash the like button. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye-bye. You might have come across such advertisements on various social media platforms. Please note, all of these are fraudsters promising unbelievable returns through stock tips. I don't provide any calls or advisory services. I provide only educational content through my social media handles and through my website rachanaranade.com and rachanaranade.in.